Hello, friends and strangers. My name is Leon, and this will be the first episode of many if things go to plan. I'll be recording my matches on Cockatrice, and there will be commentary of the live variety, partially for entertainment, and mostly for improving my play. I want to remind anyone that may be watching that this is Cockatrice and not Modo. A lot of things will need to be done manually, and the game won't fix itself. There may be game errors that myself or my opponent may not be aware of for whatever reason. A benefit of this, aside from being completely free, is you get the full paper magic experience. Nothing is going to handle your triggers for you. On that note, there will definitely be misplays and just flat out bad decision making. I'm not a perfect player, and I welcome the viewers to critique my play. That's one of the reasons for doing this. So, let's get started. What we've got here is a list I've been tuning and working on. Started from scratch and I've just tuned it ever since. It is a Heartless summoning bug list. Creature package is 3 blood gifts, 2 disciples, 3 evil twins, 2 grizzlebrands, Haven Golich, blah blah blah, so on, whatever. You can read. So, let's just go over the creatures for a second. Thragtusk, because Thragtusk. You don't really need any more reason for Thragtusk than that. At least not in standard anyway. So 4 of Thragtusk. With Heartless Summoning, he's a 3-drop. Let's see what else we've got. Disciple. Disciple just works really well with Thragtusk. Especially when Mikaeus is on board. You drop a Thragtusk, followed by a Disciple with a Mikaeus on board. You get a stronger Thragtusk. You get your token. You gain life, and you draw a bunch of cards. Who doesn't want that? Bloodgive Demon, easy 3-drop with Heartless Summoning out. Real good card draw. Evil Twin, because for 2 mana, with Heartless Summoning out, you get to destroy a legendary, such as the pesky or hexproof ones like Sigarda or Geist. Or you can just copy a Thragtusk or copy one of your opponent's creatures to use the destroy ability. Grizzlebrand, I've been thinking of cutting him. I don't really know. I haven't really gotten the chance to see him in the deck that much. I've barely ever seen him in the times I've played it. Haven Golich does amazing things with just everything in general. My creatures cost less to play. I can cast Thragtusk from the grave. I can cast my opponent's creatures from their grave, all at Heartless Summoning price. It's just Haven Golich is really a star. I had him as a 4 of, and I reduced it to 3. And depending on how the matches go, I may put him back to 4. Mikaeus offsets the power and toughness loss from Heartless Summoning, and gives me wonderful sweeper protection. Just wonderful. I barely even care about Supreme Verdicts when Mikaeus is on the board. Prime Speaker for 4 mana. I can usually use her to draw 4 or 5 cards. I'm on the fence about her, but we'll see as play continues. This deck is, if a game goes late, like if I'm facing a control deck and a game goes late, this deck just tends to take it over. One of the problems it has though is aggro. It doesn't do. If a deck can threaten me with death before I can reasonably get started, then I'm dead. Because if you look at my creatures, you'll see that my lowest costing creature is a 4-drop. And my lowest costing relevant creature is a 5-drop. I mean, the best hand against an aggro deck would be turn 2 Heartless, turn 3 Thrag. But you're not always going to get that. So we have Abrupt Decay for stopping little aggro monsters. Tragic Slip, same thing. Ultimate Price, same thing. Victim of Night, same thing. Land base, 25 lands, 2 Alchemist Refuge, because Alchemist Refuge with Heartless Summoning basically gives every creature for 1 more mana for 1 more than the printed casting cost. You get to cast this as an instant. It's great. Nephalia Drownyard, I originally just put in because I was playing the colors to have it. And I've come to find out that it's one of the best parts of the deck. So I increased it to 2 actually because there are a lot of games where my opponent just simply cannot kill me because I'm gaining so much life, I'm drawing so many cards. And if it's a deck like Bant or Esper, where I have to really work hard to try and kill them with creatures, um, the Fire Genre just does work. There's so many games where I've just milled my opponent out, and it doesn't seem like that's a thing that you would do in a deck like this, but it's come in handy a lot. Vraska sort of closes out the deck because mainly for her -3 because I want there are problem permanents sometimes that the deck might not even be able to handle because 3 of its removal cards are only going to affect things that are less than 3 mana. And then these are all very specific removal. Or very specific creature removal, that is. If I want to remove something else, it's going to be difficult, and that's why Vraska's here. As for the sideboard, Silklash Spider, mainly for Lingering Souls. An earlier version of this deck had a real big problem getting through decks that could just spam the board with tokens, because nothing here has trample. So they could reliably just chump block me all day. So, Silklash Spider. Cremate for Reanimator decks and for pesky Snapcaster decks. Golgari Charm. Decks where I feel like Planner Cleansing or Supreme Verdict are an issue. I mean, Mikaeus is here, but Golgari Charm just adds that extra regen. And also, I can bring it in against certain aggro decks to kill their creatures. Or for just enchantments, really. 2 more Jace, 2 more Vraska. These generally come in against control. Or control-ish decks. And then we've got 3 Mutilate for aggro game 2. So that is the deck. It's one I've built from scratch and I've been tuning. I like it very much, so let's see if we can get some games.